Parkersburg City Council members voted on a resolution about community members speaking at council meetings during its meeting tonight. At the City Council meeting, an agenda item got a lot of attention. Earlier this year, the council voted that people have to get their issues sponsored by 3 members of council to have the issue put on the agenda. The public forum of the meeting was also changed, where people cannot speak on issues that are not on the meeting agenda. Tuesday night, 10 people from the community spoke about why the council members should vote no against the resolution. City Council voted yes by a vote of 6-3 for the resolution, which is to move the 3 sponsors up to 5. For more information about the Parkersburg City Council meeting, you can head over to our website at WTAP.com.